Making a separate video for this problem. So go ahead and watch the other one for 4.2. And this one is simply how you solve a system of two equations. So if you remember how to do this from algebra class, if you're awesome at algebra, just skip this, don't watch it. If you need a review on how to solve for x and y simultaneously, basically, then let's do that here. There's a whole bunch of different ways to solve for both x and y when we have them in our equations here. One way you could do it is you could graph it, right? So you could find, why does it do that? Oh, I think I use this, maybe? I don't know. Nope, didn't do it. Okay. So we could graph it. If you grab this equation here, the blue one, the red one, you get two different lines. And then the solution is simply where those lines cross, right? So wherever they cross, they'll give you an x value and a y value, and you can say, okay, this is what x is, this is what y is. We can do a little better than that. We can do it algebraically. And there's many different ways to do it. We could do subtraction. That's a great way. We could add or subtract these equations from each other. It's kind of weird to subtract a whole equation, but we could do it. For example, I'll show you how to do that one. I could do 126 equals 12x plus 2y, and my other one is 36 equals 3x plus 2y. I could, and it doesn't have to be subtraction. If there's a negative value, you can get it to cancel too. But because I have a 2y in both of these, since I have 12x plus 2y and this one's 3x plus 2y, I can subtract the two equations from each other, and the 2y will just poof disappear. So I can get it down to a single variable using that this subtraction method. So I'll go ahead and do that. Well, what is 126 minus 36? Well, that's 90. 90 is equal to 12x minus 3x is 9x. And then these y's just cancel, so there's nothing there. Boom. I guess I can cross them off. Yeah. If 90 equals 9x, then we have x equals 10. Cool. So that's how we can do that. And then once we have a single variable, right, we can plug it into any one of these equations. I'll do this one because, again, it's smaller. So that gives me, what, 36 equals 3 times 10 plus 2y. So that's 30. 36 equals 30 plus 2y. Subtract the 30, it gives me 2y equals 6. I switched it. And then finally y equals 3. Y equals 3. So that's one way we can solve it, is to add or subtract the equations. First you have to manipulate the equations so that one of the values is equal or the exact opposite. So you can just add and subtract and they'll disappear. Because if you had like 4y here, it wouldn't cancel, right? You'd still be stuck with y. So you would have to say divide everything by 2 on both sides of the equation, something like that. But we didn't have to do that. So this is one way to do it. What's another? This will work. Okay. So that was one way to do it. We could do it some other ways too. One of my other favorite ways to do it is to solve for a single variable and then plug it back in. Not the prettiest here. We'll do it though, just for an example. So let's say I'll solve for y here. So I'm going to take my 36. I'll move it up a little bit. Okay. So my 36 degrees, I'm just leaving out degrees for simplicity's sake. 36 is equal to 3x plus 2y. Now I'm going to rearrange this so it just solves for y. And so I'm going to subtract 3x from both sides, gives me 36 minus 3x equals 2y. Divide both sides by 2, gives me y equals, I'm going to go ahead and distribute this, so that would be 18 minus, and then this is 3 over 2x. Cool, so now I've solved for y. I have another equation with y over here. I can substitute in this for y. So it's going to get big and messy, and then it'll be super big and messy and complicated, and then things will just cancel each other out. Blah, 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 blah. You'll get down to 3. No, 10 on this one. Okay, so we'll see if it works. So it's going to start with 126 equals 12x plus 2y. But wait a minute, I want to get rid of this y, right? So I'm just going to erase it here. And I'm going to put in parentheses here whatever I put in here. So this was 18 minus 3 halves. I have an eraser. I can do this. 3 halves x. But nope, so now we got this big messy thing. But immediately we can distribute this out. We're basically undone what we've done before. 126 equals 12x plus 36 minus 2y. 2x. That's 3x. Sorry. I shouldn't do these so late at night. It's like 9:30. Hey, I'm old, okay? Okay, so this gives me 126 equals 12x plus 36 minus 3x. 36 minus 3x was what this was before we divided by 2. So we multiplied it by 2 and we got this thing. And now we combine like terms. We have a 12x minus 3x. So that'll become 9x. We have 126. We're going to subtract 36 to balance the equation, right? So again, that brings us down to 90 equals, and again, 9x and x equals 10. Similarly, we plug that value back in. So this is another way we can solve pretty easily. And there are other ways out there, but these are just the first two that came to my head. I think they're, yeah, we can. If you come up with more, we can go over them in class. Anyway, have a good one. Thanks.